I'm Brian.
And I'm JoAnn.
This is JoAnn Learns the AK at the Tactical Performance Center. So you've seen us talk about the rifles we're going to use, JoAnn's AK-74 and my AKM. Now we're going to talk about some of the supporting equipment we're going to use. So if we start off, for the stuff we're going to use in this series, you'll see we shoot a lot on these Tactical Performance Center paper targets here. And you can actually download these yourself, print them off for free from the website here, tacticalperformancecenter.com. Other stuff, of course, eye and ear protection at all times because you don't want to be deaf, blind, or lose an eye. That would kind of suck. One other piece of equipment that, if you're not too familiar with the AK, you might not know, and JoAnn, you probably learned this, front of these guns get kind of hot after some shooting, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So, gloves, especially for your support hand that's out there on the handguard, because of the way these guns are with the piston system, the front end gets hot, and frankly, AKs are always kind of trying to cut you and hurt you, so it's not the worst idea in the world to wear gloves when you're shooting them in general, even if you don't usually wear gloves. The other stuff we'll talk about is ammo. So for 5.45 that JoAnn's shooting, we're just using this Golden Tiger stuff. It's about 20 cents a round from SG Ammo. Other stuff I've had good luck with is Wolf Military Classic. This is a what's called a bimetal jacket, so there is steel in this jacket, so some indoor ranges don't allow it. And then the 7.62 is kind of the same stuff. We've got some Wolf, a mix of like 2 different kinds of Wolf ammo and some Golden Tiger. All works just great. Some indoor ranges and some places don't allow you to shoot that bimetal ammunition, which sticks to a magnet, at your steel, right? So there's a couple other types of ammo to talk about that we got here. This is kind of your only option for 5.45, and this is Hornady. It's their 60 grain Pmags load. You can buy this stuff from Ammo Supply Warehouse. They're a sponsor of the Red October match, and they've got good prices on ammo. I didn't even realize that they were so into AKs until they called me about Red October. I just bought ammo from them. This has got their 60 grain Pmags bullet on it. It does some nasty things to varmints if you're into hunting. And it's the stuff I would use for home defense if I had a 5.45 gun. It won't go through walls and stuff like that. This stuff's about 40 cents a round, so it's about the most expensive 5.45 ammo you can get, but it's still about what 223 ammo costs, so it's still pretty good. The options for 7.62x39 are a little bit, we got a few more, and this is kind of the cheapest, still decent option. This is Surplus Yugoslavian M67 ball ammo, so this is still pretty cheap. I want to say this was like 24, 23 cents a round from SG Ammo for just a crate of it. It's brass case, but you can't reload it. It's Berdan primed, but it's not, the bullets won't stick to a magnet. There's no steel in them at all. They are corrosive though, so you're going to want to clean your barrel after you shoot them. Just squirt some water down it, run a bore snake, and you'll be fine. You won't get any rust, but something to be aware of. And bonus, comes on SKS clips. So if you or a buddy has an SKS, they'll love that. So that's the ammo, gloves. The other thing we're going to talk about is magazines. We've got several magazines we're going to use. These ones here are for the 7.62 gun for the AKM. First, this is just kind of your standard steel Surplus Eastern Bloc 30 round mag. You know, honestly, you find a steel mag, it's probably going to work pretty good for you. We're going to be using Pmags. This is just the Gen 2, so there's no metal reinforcements. It's very reliable, and you can find these at like Sports and Warehouse or Cabela's. Local to you. You don't have to order them on the internet if you can't find them. Something like that. They work. If you bang the magazine against stuff a lot, you might break a lug off. Magpul will replace them, but that is some risk you run. And 30 round mags are all that's legal in heavy division at Red October. But we do have a 40 rounder here. This is actually a Bulgarian magazine that our friend Rawson brought back. But you can order these from Kvar. It's just 40 rounds, and you can also get a similar one for 5.45. Again, it's just plastic on the front, so you might snap a lug off if you get really violent with them, like going through doorways. But 40 rounds is just more ammo. More ammo is always good, unless you're swimming or on fire or something, right? In the 5.45, magazines are a little bit kind of harder to find, but luckily, Magpul has just recently started making the Pmags for 5.45. I've got probably 500 rounds through this one Pmag and haven't had a failure yet. I think they're very reliable, but you're going to run into the same issues where there's no metal there, so you might break a lug off or something when you're doing, if you're going through a doorway or if you go real hard into it. But for just a range mag, you're not going to war, works great. Then the only other mag I have experience with, this is kind of what everyone considers the best 5.45 mag you can get, and that's actually a Bulgarian Circle 10 mag, and that's because it's the arsenal code for Bulgaria, Circle 10. It's a plastic magazine, but if you look at the top, right here, you see how it's shiny here? That's because the actual top of this magazine is steel. So the feed lips are steel, and so are these lugs. If you look, the back lug's steel, and so is the front, if you turn it over here. So these won't snap out of your gun. They're a little more expensive. They're a little bit kind of harder to find. You're going to have to order them, but a very good magazine. So those are my recommendations. Some other tools we're going to use. This is a magazine Lula. It works for both the 5.45 and the 7.62 mags. And it's really handy for loading the magazines if you want to save your thumb from getting torn up on steel mags, and especially for unloading the magazines. So something like that, you can pick them up at your local gun shop or on Amazon or something. They're not real expensive, but they will kind of save your thumbs after a long day of shooting. This is a zeroing tool. I got this for like, I want to say 15 bucks locally. It's from Tapco, and it's a way for you to adjust the sights. And we'll talk about that in a later video on how it works, but this just pushes the front sight drum, left or right, however you want to set it up. And then on the top it's got a little tongue there for adjusting the front sight up and down for linkage, because all the adjustment on the AK sight is on the front sight actually. So there's that. And then for magazine pouches, that can be a little bit weird because of the shape of the AK mags, especially the 7.62 ones where they got that real big curve that everyone knows. So for magazine pouches, we're both going to be using high-speed gear tacos. So the way it works, it's a universal magazine carrier that you stick anything in. It's just got kind of the bungee cord stuff going on here, and you stick a 7.62 mag in there. It'll hold it, still fairly tight. I added this little bungee for retention. That I was running a bunch with these, and I wanted something extra to hold them in. But you don't have to use that at all to hold it in. You can just cinch it down real tight. I'm probably going to cut that off, honestly, now that I'm done using it. But it fits the 7.62 mags, and it fits the 5.45 magazines, although that one went in a little weird. And then this particular one goes on the least cluttered battle belt ever. And this one holds a pistol magazine. You can also get the ones that go right on your belt. You can get them that just hold rifle magazines, 2 rifle magazines, 1 rifle mag, or in this case, the rifle with a little pistol mag pouch there too. But that's the gear we plan on using for this series and for Red October. A lot of these companies are sponsors of Red October. Some of them are my personal sponsors, but we wouldn't be showing you their gear unless we knew it worked. So yeah, tune in next week and we'll talk about some other stuff.
Bye!